Okay, now time is up today. Okay. If you complete all the questions, please raise the hand. I have received one answer sheet, okay? Very good. Very good. I'll send you answer sheets too. ඇතිකට තිබුණ answer sheet එකක් මට එකක් answer sheet හම්බ වුණා. අනිත් answer sheet උත් මට එවන්න. හොඳයි. හොඳයි. So before discussing that part, I will teach some short methods to do vector questions. So this is very, very important lesson. As I mentioned you earlier, actually, if you can understand this thing and if you can play with these short methods, then nothing to worry. Okay. Okay. Shall we start? So to do this one, to do this short methods, you have to have a good geometrical knowledge regarding parallels. Okay, I think you have that knowledge in your orals, so we can proceed from that. Okay, they write a topic. Applying geometrical short methods. Applying geometrical short methods to solve vector questions. Applying geometrical short methods to solve vector questions. අද තනිකරම පුතේ පේපර් එකක් එන්නේ. හරිද? මෙතනින් පස්සේ තව එකක් තියෙනවා. Okay, ඒකේ සද මේක ඉවරනට පස්සේ you will be given a paper again, පුතේ. Therefore, please listen to this very carefully. If you have any questions, please let me know. Because I have to evaluate your knowledge. Okay. First thing, you know, Putte, the magnitude of a vector, if it is represented geometrically, the magnitude of the vector can be equal to the length of that line segment. Okay, that means if you have a line segment like this, and suppose this vector is P, then if it is mentioned geometrically, if it is represented geometrically, if P vector is represented geometrically, then I can take the length of line segment AB, the length of line segment AB, that means AB length is equal to the magnitude of P vector, to the magnitude of P vector. Magnitude of P vector. AB length is AB, therefore I can write this as AB equal magnitude of P vector can be written as this. This is the symbol, magnitude of P vector. Normally we call it as modulus, magnitude or modulus. This symbol. This symbol. Magnitude or modulus. And you have to understand the thing first. You have to understand that thing first. Then, this is not one. The second note. So if you draw a vector parallelogram, if you draw a vector parallelogram, suppose this one A, B, C, D, and this vector is P, this vector is Q, this angle is theta. Then you can, from this diagonal, we can determine the resultant vector. From this diagonal, we can determine the difference vector. Therefore, resultant vector, we can say it has P vector plus Q vector. P vector plus Q vector. Difference vector means P, minus Q. P minus Q. Therefore, it should be P minus Q. P minus Q. P vector minus P vector. Therefore, AC vector, R vector means AC vector. This should be equal AC vector. And this should be equal DB vector. Therefore, AC length should be equal to the magnitude of this vector. DB length should be equal to the magnitude of difference vector. Therefore, AC length should be equal magnitude of P plus Q vector. Then DB length should be equal magnitude of P minus Q vector. P minus Q vector. If you got my explanation, please raise the hand. Everyone have to sign. I don't have to sign. Suppose in a question, that means in a question where you are given P plus Q magnitude modulus and P minus Q modulus, that means you are given two diagonals. You have to understand that thing. Because now I'm going to teach how to solve vector questions using geometrical relationships. Therefore, when you are given a vector relationship, you can think geometrically. When you are given a vector relationship, you can think geometrically. That means, suppose you are given P plus Q modulus is equal P minus Q modulus. That means the two diagonals, the length of two diagonals are equal. Then you can understand what kind of parallelogram is it. Okay. Likewise, sometimes you may be given P plus Q modulus is perpendicular to P minus Q modulus. That means two diagonals are perpendicular. Then you can determine what kind of parallelogram is it. Did you get my point? පැහැදිලිද ඒක? තේරුණාද? If you got that, please raise the hand. තේරුණාද sir? හරි. එහෙනම් මුලින් මේක දාගමුකෝ අපි. I finish. Then write down this. Then write down this. If we are given a vector relationship, if we are given a vector relationship, we can convert it into a geometrical relationship. We can convert it into a geometrical relationship. We can convert it into a geometrical relationship. Look at this something. Example. Suppose A plus B vector modulus of A plus B vector is equal modulus of A minus B. So what is the meaning of this one? That means this is a diagonal and this is the diagonal. That means the length of two diagonals of this vector paradigm is equal. That means length of two diagonals. The length of two diagonals are equal. Therefore, can say therefore lengths of two diagonals are equal. If length of the two diagonals are equal, definitely should be a rectangle or it should be a square. It should be a, therefore, definitely it should be a rectangle or it should be a square. Therefore, the parallel. Therefore, the parallel should either be a rectangle or a square. මොකද rectangle එකක් හරි square කරනොත් ආවොත් diagonals equal වෙන්නේ. හරිද? නේ? Definitely it should be a square or sorry, rectangle or it should be a square. It should be a square. Then I can understand. What is the angle between them? 90. 90. Therefore, if you know A plus B equal A minus B, that means the angle between them should be 90. Is that clear? තේරුණාද? අදසන් තේරුණාද? එහෙමනම් මේක දීපු ගමන් ජීවිතයට වගේ ඉක්වේෂන් එකක් ඕනද පුතේ මේ ගන්න හදන්න? ජීවිතයට ඕනේ නැහැ. ඉක්වේෂන් එකක් ඕනද නේ? If you know if A plus B modulus is equal A minus B, then you do not want any equation to determine the angle between them. That is 90. That should be 90. Is that clear? තේරුණාද තුෂාර? Therefore, the angle between them equal 90. One. That's it. ඊළඟට තව එකක්. Suppose A plus B modulus is perpendicular A minus B modulus. එහෙනම් මොකද වෙන්න ඕනේ? ඒ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Two diagonals are perpendicular to each other. Two diagonals are perpendicular to each other. That means two diagonals are perpendicular to each other. If two diagonals are perpendicular to each other, if two diagonals are perpendicular to each other, Pute, what kind of parallelograms are they? What kind of parallelograms? If two diagonals perpendicular to each other in a parallelogram, then it should be a මොකද වෙන්න ඕන? මොකද වෙන්න ඕන? Definitely it should be a square or rhombus. It should be a square or rhombus. හරිද? Therefore, the parallelogram should be a square or rhombus. It should be a square or rhombus, but otherwise, two diagonals are not perpendicular. If two diagonals are perpendicular, definitely it should either be a square or a rhombus. That means definitely A and B are equal. That means A and B are equal. Definitely modulus of A should be equal modulus of B. Modulus of A should be equal modulus of B. පැහැදිලිද ඒක? තේරුණාද පුස්සා? හරි. So that is the way of applying your geometrical knowledge to solve vector questions, පුතේ. හරි. ටක් ගන්න දෙපාරක්. මේකෙන් හොයන්න පුළුවන් නේද? අපි දන්නවා. So if it is a square or rhombus, if we can determine whether it is a square or rhombus, then we know from each diagonal, the vertex angles are bisected. The vertex angles are bisected. Therefore, angle between the resultant vector and any vector should be the half of the angle between two vectors. හරිද? ඒ වගේ ටක් ටක් ගාලා උඩට ගන්න පුළුවන්. කිසිම කැල්කියුලේෂන් එකක් ඕනේ. ආන්සර් එක නිකම්ම ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඊළඟ උදේ රියක් මේ therefore R should be 2a cos theta over 2 නේ. 2a නැත්නම් 2b cos theta over 2. ඒ අපි දන්නවා පුතේ මොකද්ද මේවා දෙකක් මොකද්ද වෙක්ටර්ස් දෙකක් ඉක්වල් නම් ඒ වෙක්ටර්ස් දෙකේ රිසල්ට් එක මොනකට ඉක්වල් වෙනවා 2p cos theta over 2. Okay. Have you finished writing? Have you finished writing this side? Shall I rest? If I bad here, okay. Okay, I'm going to rest. Okay. So, if you can remember the properties of each type of paragram, then this job would be very easy. And yeah, so I'm going to recall those properties. I think those things were taught in all of us, but I will give that properties again. Audible? Actually, there are major three paragraphs. One is square, then rectangle, and the rhombus. And those are the main three parallels. So if it is square, A, B, C, D, then you know one thing, if it is a square, one angle is 45, sorry, 90 degree, 90 degree, then these two diagonals are equal in length and they are perpendicularly bisected. They are perpendicularly bisected to each other. Then these legs are equal. Therefore, I can say AB equal AD equal BC equal BD, BC. All are equal. This is first property. The second property, AC and DB are equal in length. AC equal DB. AC equal DB. That means two diagonals are equal in length. Two diagonals are equal in length. Other thing, this angle A, B, vertex angle is equal 45. 45, right? 90, 90. You know, from each diagonal, these vertex angles are bisected. They are bisected. That means one half should be equal to 45 degree. 45 degree. Therefore, from each diagonal, the vertex angles bisected. That means CAB equal CAD 45. 45 degree. Elongated. AC perpendicular DB. AC perpendicular DB. AO is equal OC, DO is equal OD. AO is equal OC is equal DO is equal OB. Is that clear? Those are some properties of square. Those are some properties of square. Is that clear? Mega square angle. The angle between two vectors should be 90. Then angle between one vector and the resultant vector should be 45 degree. The angle between one vector and the difference vector also 45 degree. 45 degree. Okay. Everything you can determine. If you got my exploration, please raise the hand. Yeah. That means from the given data, you have to determine what is the type of parallelogram. What is the type of parallelogram is it? If you can determine the type, then using those properties, you can give answers without any calculations. Then the second thing, rectangle. Rectangle. From rectangle, put AB and AD are perpendicular to each other. නැත්නම් මේ angle එක මොකද හැම angle එකක්ම 90 වෙනවා. And I can say, and these two diagonals are equal in length. AC equal AB. Then second thing, angle, vertex angle equal 90. But these diagonals are not bisectors for this vertex angles. Those are not bisectors, and those are not perpendicular bisectors. Or even they are not perpendicular to each other. Okay. Then third one. Third one, AC equal BC is AB angle. Then yeah. That means AB line is perpendicular to CD. Sorry, AD. The vectors they are perpendicular enough. Again, nature. Anyway. Rhombus. They are perpendicularly bisected, but they are not equal in length. They are not equal in length. Okay. A, B, C, D. Then, if this angle is theta, this angle should be theta 2. Theta, theta. If this one is alpha, this one also alpha. ඒ කියන්නේ angles ටික bisect වෙලා තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් ලියන්න පුළුවන් AB equal BC equal CD equal මේවා equal වෙනවා. AD. AD. Then AC perpendicular BD. Third one. එතන ඕන AO equal OC ඊළඟට DO equal OB වෙනවා. But AC length is unequal DB length. Those two diagonals are not equal in length, but they are perpendicularly bisected. Okay. Then fourth one. This angle and this angles are equal. That means CAB angle, DAC angle, then DCA angle, and this one is equal ACB angle. That is three. Likewise, ABD angle, DBC angle, then ADD angle, BDC angle, that is equal to alpha. That means angles, vertex angles are bisected by diagonals. Diagonals. Now I'll keep it. How are you gonna? Okay. Properties of some properties of special paragraphs. Some properties of special paragraphs. Some properties of special paragraphs. Okay. Have finished? Have finished writing? Okay, then once you are given a vector question like this, then you can convert it into a geometrical figure. So once you can determine what kind of geometrical figure is this, then using that properties, you can give the answers without any calculations. That is the most important thing. Okay. Do you get my explanation? තේරුණාද මේ කතන්දරේ? පැහැදිලිද නැතුස්සන්? Thank you. Okay, now you are given another paper. The paper story at the common name with the paper again. Because you must write them. Okay, now you can go through the lesson you taught. One. Then we have to lesson maybe. Now you can apply the short methods to solve those questions. Okay. Now I will share the paper. On the paper share karawa. So after completion of this paper, after completion of this paper, you can take a half an hour, you can take a break. You can take a break. And next session will be linear motion, linear motion. I will share another link for that thing. Okay. හොඳයි මම ෂෙයා කරා පුතේ දැන් ටක් ගාලා හදන්න පටන් ගන්න අර කලින් කරා වගේම ටක් ගාලා හදලා ගන්න පුළුවන් කට්ටිය පුළුවන් තරම් ඉක්මනට හදලා ගන්න. Okay, because I have to evaluate your speed.